Death Blow. Death Blow. Death Blow. Death Blow.
Hello, this is Erzsebet from Erzsebet, and you are listening to Death Blow Podcast.
Hello guys and welcome to a new episode of Death Blow Podcast. Subscribe, like and share my episodes that are even on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Click on the bell to be notified when a new video will come out. Instagram, Facebook and TikTok to remain updated with more content. Death Blow Podcast has even started to do live streams on YouTube and TikTok. Feel free to enjoy and be part of the Death Blow Podcast community. Today, another interview with a special band from Spain. Their name is Erzsebet, like the famous countess. If you don't have fear yet, feel free to listen this episode. This band could really hypnotize you with their talent. But right now, stay tuned and enjoy the rest of the interview.
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
Hello.
Welcome to Death Blow Podcast. Thank you. I am Darkel. I present myself. I am Darkel. I am the admin of Death Blow Podcast. I occupy myself about extreme metal. So I interviewed a couple of artists, and it's very good that you are here today. So how is it going?
Oh, so honestly, today I'm under the weather because I have a flu and some kind of deafness. So, but well, yeah, I'm a human being, so and it's I think it's natural because now the contrast of temperatures are very crazy, and during the day maybe it's super warm, and then during the sunset the temperatures drops, and I'm easy to get this kind of thing. So I'm a little bit sick, but I will do my best to be here and to answer the questions you asked me.
Yeah, and you are, I have to tell you a beautiful thing, because you are the first woman that I interview for the podcast.
Oh!
So it's amazing that you are here today, because as a woman myself, it's good to talk with people that understand, and especially extreme metal. So it's a double pleasure to me to interview you today. Let's start with the question. The name Erzsebet sounds familiar to me, because it's the name of the famous Hungarian Countess Bathory. Why this name?
Exactly, as you said, is the Countess, because we want to. The idea we had is to pay tribute to the Countess, to the blasphemous, this lady, and at the same time, it's not by coincidence, but it's my real name. My name is Erzsebet, and so we somehow we kill two birds with one stone. But yeah. Basically, it's the first reason, because we wanted to tell the story and to be inspired of the Erzsebet's life and crimes. So that's why we chose this name.
So how is the lineup at the moment? Are you guys playing live?
Yeah, in fact, we had last weekend, last Saturday, we were in Portugal. In a festival, in a small festival called Lamas in Chamas, and with another band. And this on February we are going to play around Spain. It's like a mini tour in Spain, but we were looking for playing in another places or in another countries. We would like to play in around Europe, for instance, because I think that the metal scenes in countries like Germany or Belgium, I think that it's wider maybe, or it's bigger, the support that you can find. Here in Spain, obviously there are fans, or the audience is very enthusiastic, but it's like more weird scene. here. It's more underground scene.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You guys come from Spain. Was it hard to bring on stage the dark atmosphere of Eastern Europe?
Well, maybe because we were inspired by the figure of this countess, and although we are from Spain, it doesn't matter your origin if you are, if you want to tell a story, and as far as you more or less follow the things that you have to say, or the mandatory things that you have to tell. I think that the origin is not, well, it's not very typical to see black metal bands from Spain, and but yeah, why not? We have to start breaking this mindset.
Then the new album 650 is a number. Why choosing this name, and what can you tell me about this album?
The album 650 was it's an evolution, we could say, from the previous one that it was called The Blasphemous Lady. It was an EP, the previous one, and this album, the 650, the name comes from the number of the victims that allegedly the Countess Erzsebet murdered. So for us it was like a good idea to name it like that, because it's very, it's strong enough, because it's a number, and probably people can wonder, why is this number and not. So we love to people make some questions around name or around the stories we tell and things like that. Yeah.
About this album, what really surprised me, I have to be sincere, was your vocals. Congratulations!
Thank you. But I must say, and to make things clear, that the soprano vocals are not mine, because some people think that I can sing as a soprano, and well, I've never tried. Well, I tried, but just in karaoke and things like that, just to enjoy. But I'm not a soprano, and I would love to do it. But no, the soprano voices are from two soprano vocalists. So I want to make this.
No, you made it clear. Totally, you made this clear. So you growl. Your sound is growl only.
Yeah, when the speech, because some parts of the songs contain like a speech or something that I will have to act in more like a dialogue or like a monologue, and these parts obviously are from my voice, from my natural voice. But no, I cannot sing. I would love it, but so far I can't do it.
Yeah, it's good. Being a woman in metal, this is specifically for you, can cause difficulties. I sing myself in growl, so I understand you. And I understand how hard it could be to have a space in this genre. Do you agree? Or you found a scene that is tolerant about this?
Yeah, I agree with the thought that you say, but it's difficult sometimes on touring, for instance. When you are, I have no problem being among men. In fact, I love the way they treat themselves and the way they treat me as well. But sometimes sometimes I have seen certain, like people when they play you down.
Yeah.
Just because the fact that you are a woman, or maybe you are weak, or you are easily get sick, or things like that. And yeah, this kind of things is, well, it's not maybe depending on the gender, but it's more likely to be linked with the person itself. I mean, but being a woman, but I consider that women in general, during the last decade, they have been entering the metal scene little by little, and it's usual, more or less, every time we can see it, that it's more usual to see a strong woman in a metal band, rather like maybe if you compare it 10 or 15 years ago.
As a woman, I agree. Sometimes it's difficult even to find band members because I collaborated with certain people in the past, but it was always hard because we were far away. We lived in different countries, so it was hard to cooperate. And I totally understand what you tell, that sometimes it's difficult and people that could put you down or something like that. And it's important that you have a band that supports you.
So I feel very lucky because all my bandmates are very supportive and they are good people. So I've never been, felt like I'm the outsider or something like that. No. But sometimes when I wanted to, for instance, many years ago, I wanted to, if I went to an audition to join a band, sometimes they reject me because I was a girl, for being a girl, and they consider that, oh, okay, you sing quite nice or strong enough, but we prefer not to be with girls within the group, within the band, and things like that. Yeah, and sometimes even I don't want to cry.
Yeah.
No, because it's not my thing. I always consider men and female that they have the same skills. They can be good at doing the same things. It depends on the person, not the thing, not the sexual thing.
Yeah.
I consider it. So for me, the feminism mindset or fashion, I don't advocate with it.
Yeah.
Because for me it's not a question of gender, but it's a question of the human being and
Yes.
being educated and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. To talk about the album, was recorded at Access Studio. The sound of
Yeah.
guitars and drums is great. How much time required to record it?
Oh, for this album we spent around 15 days, 10 or 15 days, because we had some pauses in the middle. But yeah, at the beginning, I think it was the drums. They were recorded at first, and then the guitars. The guitars, although there are two guitars, they were played by the same guitarist, who is the composer of the songs, who is Angelus. And then in live, we hired another guitarist just for the gigs. And then the bass player, who is Albert, and me on the growlings or the main vocals. But yeah, in this album, I have it here, by the way, on CD. And I don't know if you want to talk about the artwork or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can wait for your questions if you want to ask me about the artwork.
Wow, it's awesome. Yeah, what are your influences in your music? Which bands do you like?
In my personal life or in the band, within the band?
In general, personal or in the band?
For me personally, I've always been a huge fan of Queen since I was 11, and then I started to widen my likes and musical taste. I think it's very diverse. Like, for instance, I can spend hours and hours listening to Smashing Pumpkins or Radiohead or Garbage as well, Placebo, things like that. But as well, I love Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and Rammstein at the beginning of Rammstein. It was one of my favorite metal bands at the beginning. Maybe the 3 first records. And yeah, but sometimes I had to admit that I enjoy a lot the 70s, music, dancing music like Gloria Gaynor and things like that. Yeah, because I love dancing, and I find this kind of music so expressive, and very uplifting as well.
Wow.
So it depends on the mood. Obviously, you have to decide certain kind of music. But yeah, I'm a little bit picky, like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then I create my own menu of music.
You did a great job with this album. So It's important what you did.
Thank you. The album itself, all the songs are composed by Angelus, who is the guitarist, the main guitarist, and he is mad about Cradle of Filth, Dimmu Borgir, and bands like that. And I think that somehow his influences are within the songs that he composes.
Wow, very good. How it started the collaboration with Whispering Voice Records?
Well, it was because we were planning to release the album, and we were determined to go abroad in terms of a record company label, and we start the searching thing, and it's a really tough to find someone or a company who wants to support you, and because nowadays I think the music industry doesn't dare to beat to people that unknown or newcomer bands. Yeah, because maybe they are not very, they cannot obtain benefits. So if I think that the music industry nowadays, they don't want to jeopardize too much the money, and to invest in a newcomer band is not a good idea.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to beat around the bush. But the thing was that we started doing the search, and then we applied to some record companies, and some of them they answered, some of them they didn't answer. And finally, one of the record, it was a very small record company in Norway, and we thought, in Norway it's like the cradle of black metal, which is a good thing to promote our music. And the man who contacted us, he was very enthusiastic about our music and about the band, all the idea of the band, and we had a deal with him, and we are quite satisfied so far.
Wow.
Yeah.
And especially the fact that he was in Norway, so it's so like a dream come true, Norway.
Exactly. Although we are not, we haven't gone in Norway to perform. I mean, I know, like a tourist, but as a band, we haven't gone. We haven't been there yet, but we hope we'll do it.
Yeah, I really wish for your band to play there one day. Inferno Metal Festival, or who knows?
Exactly, Inferno would be great because it's like in different locations during more or less a week, and why not? Yeah, we push it to do it. Yeah, because we applied for next year, but we don't have an answer of feedback yet. So we have. But sometimes let me tell you that sometimes when you are unknown, you have to be a little bit, you have to try it. And sometimes it's a question of luck, but at the same time, it's a question of being, like not noisy, but annoying, like tiring, hey, I am here. What do you think about this? And I called you last week. Can you tell me something? Otherwise, if you don't sell yourself, nobody does.
There is a book that inspired your dark visual to bring on stage?
Oh, sorry, I didn't. I thought that you asked me about the book that I usually use on stage.
Oh.
The physical book, I mean. So your question is if there is any work that inspires?
Book or movie that inspired?
Well, horror movies, in general, and for me it's like the inspiration and is the leitmotif to perform like that. Because since I was a child, I'm a horror movie fan, and in fact, when I was 8 or 9 years old, my dream was to be a director or filmmaker of horror films.
I dream too.
So yeah, because it was unusual those years, but nowadays maybe it's not so weird. But yeah, and somehow this imaginary on my mind. I love horror movies and all the things that we can, or I, because I'm not an actress, but I can perform, imagine or like visualizing what scares me or what would scare me. And yeah, and one movie, for instance, I love The Exorcist, and yeah, and when I hit on stage with the white dress, with blood stain and things like that, the gestures and all the things that I can, I try to not to imitate, but I visualize the Regan, the actress, it was doing like that because the movements should be soft and elegant, but at the same creepy.
Yeah. So, about the scene in Spain, is very supportive or quite the contrary?
Wow. I don't want to be controversial, but sometimes we don't find enough support. Sometimes, not always. Or I mean, to be more specific, I think that Spain is more focused on different genres of music rather than in metal music, and that's why the metal scene in Spain sometimes is super underground, and they take for granted that bands can play without getting any money. And obviously, you have some, if you go to from one city to another, and the travels and everything costs money. But they think, they do it because they love it. And here it's very, it's sad to say, but they don't pay attention on musicians. It doesn't matter if the musicians are, maybe professional, super professional musicians like, I don't know, Rosalia and things like that. But they belong to another genre of music. They are highly considerate. But the bands, and I think bands are the foundations of music, because the magic of playing an instrument, strumming your guitar and things, and playing with your natural voice, we cannot leave it to die.
Yeah.
So I think that it's important that all people should raise awareness of the importance of encouraging bands to survive.
Absolutely.
And to keep on going. Otherwise, music is doomed to die, which is not nice, because I think music, in my opinion, music is one of the most fabulous things that the human being can create.
Yeah, absolutely. Certain piano pieces in your album remind me of two classical music composers. Which one, if I may ask?
Well, the music piano is everything made from Angelus. But I remember that when he was composing the songs, he was inspired by not Mozart or Beethoven. No, he was inspired by medieval music. Well, yeah, he searched on internet, or maybe he was to the library, or I don't know. But he suddenly came to the rehearsal place that we have, and I've been listening to certain musical pieces from the medieval era, and I think I'm going to imitate some chords and things like that. I would say, okay, do whatever you want, because you are the composer, and we don't have to say anything about it. So I cannot answer properly one author or one composer.
Okay.
He was inspired. The thing that I remember, he was definitely inspired by the medieval music.
Yeah. In the song Daughters of Zemans, I like the guitars very much, and all the song in general reminds me to Satirical Dark Medieval Times album or Behemoth influence.
Yeah, Behemoth, and because the drummer and as well, well, all of us, but especially the drummer, he is super fan of Vikimos. And you know, because all of us give a part of ourselves in every song. And in Daughters of Siemens, the previous track, which is called Spectral Cortege, is just instrumental. For me, it's one of the best pieces of the album. Not because it's instrumental and I can I can rest, but it's because the atmosphere of the track leads you to the following, that is Daughters of Siemens. And for me, it's the perfect opening to Daughters of Siemens. In Daughters of Siemens, it's more blacky maybe, or has more rhythm if we compare it with the other tracks from the album. And we wanted to play like a dialogue, and that's why we asked another singer to sing along with me in a dialogue, because the lyrics here, I wrote the lyrics, and while I was writing the lyrics, I imagined that because usually the Countess Erzsebet, it's told that she never did the murders on herself. She had like a band, like a crew of people who can assist her. And the problem with her was, or all the thing, it was, the truth of the murders came out because of the Daughters of Siemens. Siemens were more high class status families, and the daughters, when were raptured to be killed, obviously the parents, they pay attention on it and say, oh, what happened with my daughter? She was supposed that she was hired as an assistant to the castle of the Bathory, and then when they disappeared, obviously everything came out, and that it was like the key, the key point. And I wanted to make a dialogue between Erzsebet and one of her assistants, who was Majorjova, and the girl who is singing like the role, or who is playing the role of Majorjova, is a Mexican girl called Grat Rose, is her artistic name. And
very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the video Domina Vestra. Very well done. What can you tell me about this video?
Thank you. This video, it was a low-budget video, by the way, because we cannot invest a lot of money because we don't have enough money to make videos. But it was just, when you link certain parts, and we have the perfect set. So, and more or less the perfect idea of, okay, let's imagine that the victim is from the victim perspective, and then we were doing bad things to the victim, and I think that it was crucial to have the good setting, and the acting itself, when you are dressed up like that, with the perfect, the lights and all the ambience, brings you to that moment that you have to perform. Things come naturally, although we are not actors or actresses. But and I'm quite proud of the video.
Yeah, but at the end, I am a video maker myself. I make videos. I did videos about Bathory just for fun, because I like to make videos. And it's not important long pieces of videos. It's just important the atmosphere, what you can create in 3 seconds or 4 seconds of video, and then put on the directly on the program. Choose the perfect scenes, and then you put it together into this project. You don't need a lot of money to make a good video,
Exactly. Sometimes you spend a lot of money, or you think that the more money you spend, it will be better. And it's not always this formula. It's not a mathematical result. and sometimes it has more to do with the fact of being creative, and the even the acting. I think it's very important.
Yeah.
And that's why I say that I remember the moment when I put the clothes things and the lens and everything, and I was in that precious, because it was precious in the setting. Everything. I don't know, because you feel like you are in a movie. Maybe because my background as a dreamy, film director of horror movies, I could feel myself being inside a horror movie or something. And the edition obviously is very important, because you have to keep the rhythm and the tension in certain parts of the song. So the moment when I up the arms in the altar, in front of the altar, and things like that, I think it's maybe it gives more strength and power to the scene.
Yeah, but what's the best song your guys composed and you were really satisfied?
We have different opinions about it, because if you ask the best player, maybe he would say, "Oh, I love." Maybe he would say, "I will love the cage, the torch, and the corpses." For me as well, this is one of my favorites. But if I have to choose one, I would choose "Wherefore," which is one of the singles that we released before the album, because it's dramatic, it's slow. Yeah. It's more doom, maybe, but I love it, because then it has a twist, the song, that I get nuts, and I love Wherefore. But maybe the drummer, he will say, I love the first one, the Test with 1,000 Spikes. So we have different opinions.
Yeah. Are you planning to record some songs in the future for the next album?
For sure. Yeah, we had to. If we want to continue growing up as a band, we have to work on it and following, composing and writing songs in order to fit more the Erzsebet story.
And then what can you add to finish this interview? You were talking about the artwork.
Yeah, I wanted to talk the artwork, because I think it's marvelous. Nowadays, there are a lot of things made by artificial intelligence, and I want to say and to defend that this artwork is, obviously there are Photoshop, but it's not in artificial intelligence. These people are real people, wow. Real friends of us, okay, that they were naked here, and this is me with with this, and I had to kept still, to be still until the pictures were taken, and yeah, obviously this is not here. We were not surrounded by schools, but there are a lot of real work here, and all this artwork is made by the same person who designed the previous one artwork. I don't know if you can see it. She is a very professional designer and photographer called Irene Serrano. She's from here, from Spain, and her work is absolutely amazing. From the very beginning, she had the idea of she got the idea that we wanted to express. She started to listen to our music. They were the raw versions of our music, because we haven't done the mastering yet on that time. But yeah, I appreciate a lot the effort she made, yes, because it's so elegant, but at the same time so scary, Yeah. This is the previous one, and this is the album 650, and
very wonderful. Very wonderful. She did an amazing job.
Yeah, we wanted to release a vinyl format from the album.
Yeah.
In vinyl, I think it would be, more stunning.
Yeah, and we have to advise to the people to buy your LP. Listen, guys, you have to buy the LP and the CD to support the bands. It's really important. Do you agree, right?
Yeah, definitely. We have to support to each other as long as we can. Otherwise, as I said before, the the music industry has is in the countdown, but not the music industry. I mean the bands, the real bands with real musicians playing their instruments. I think that we have to take care of them.
Yeah.
I would love to say that, first of all, thank you for having your interest on our band, on Erzsebet, and well, I think it's a very, sometimes it can be very exhausting to join in a band, especially when you are, at the beginning, because every time that you have a gig, you have to drag all the things from one side to another. But yeah, it's tiring, and then drive 4 hours. So it's not easy, but at the same time, it's a very rewarding experience. So far, I cannot reject, or I cannot quit from my current job, because I have to pay the bills and the stuff. And sometimes to join in a band, aside of being exhausting, sometimes it can be, like you have to spend a lot of money. You have to pay money to play, to buy things, and to play in different venues sometimes. But I recommend young people to, if they have some, curiosity, they join a band, and it doesn't matter at the beginning if they don't do it fine, but little by little, because I think the music should go beyond, this era.
Yeah, you're right about this. Absolutely. Thank you so much. It has been a pleasure, and I totally support your career as a woman. It's very important to support each other. So you have my blessing. You have my blessing for that. So.
For me, it has been a pleasure, and it's not by by compliment, just by like in forward. But I didn't know that I was the first woman to be interviewed by you, which is an honor.
Yeah.
I feel very honored to be in that position, and I am very grateful for your interest, as I said before, and I agree totally with you that we have to support each other, and as long as we can go to the gigs and listen to real music.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time, and
You're welcome.
See you in the future.
See you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.
And that's all for this episode of Deaf Blow Podcast. Subscribe, like, and share my episodes, and click on the bell to be notified with new videos. Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok for more updates and news. See you soon, guys.